record.
Well, it's okay because none of that was really relevant to our lesson anyway.
Mhm.
All right, shall we start?
Mhm.
Okay, some notes on equity. I looked into it, and equity is basically just used as a synonym for stocks. So buying equity in a company just means buying stocks in that company.
Buying equity means stocks.
Right. If you own equity in a company, then you own a percentage of it as stocks. I think that's similar to what we talked about yesterday, but I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Just a slight correction there.
You know what is like the PN17? Like let's say if the company is flagged as is flagged under PN17, and then what will happen?
No, what is that?
Uh you can search on the Google and then you type Asia. It's an airline. I think
Oh, right. You told me this happened to you, right? You invested in AirAsia.
yeah, I'm very worried right now because I invested I guess not only me but yeah, this one.
It's like a bankruptcy thing.
I'm not sure. So like if
Oh, it's a Malaysian thing. That's why I've never heard of it.
practice note 17.
Okay. It's a tag given to financially distressed firms and they get delisted. Okay, so they drop them off the stock exchange if they fail to fix themselves within a set time frame.
Within a set time frame.
That's what it says
So
here.
is there any like
Like a Western equivalent.
yeah,
I don't know. How can stocks be delisted from, that said PN17 again. I'm guessing there's a lot of panic about the AirAsia.
yeah, a lot of I think a lot of investors actually invested in this company, and then now I believe not only in Malaysia, but there are also a lot of foreigners who invested in this because
Yeah.
of the stock crash, but and they are not sure with what is PN17, but just because it's cheap, so they just pour their money in it.
Here you go. The NASDAQ has three primary requirements to stay in compliance. Share price of at least $1, a total of at least 400 shareholders, shareholders' equity. So that's equal to all of the amount of shares that they hold.
So what is NASDAQ? NASDAQ is
There's
company.
NASDAQ is one of the big stock exchanges.
NASDAQ is, yeah, I used to see the tag on the stock, and then there is a like NASDAQ or even SGX, something like that.
Yes, SGX sounds like Singapore's
Singapore.
exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, NASDAQ is one of the American ones. There's two.
Yeah. When I want to like look at the price of the Apple stocks, and then I can afford it.
Right.
So it's-
Yeah. So again, here's that word equity. It means the value like equal to 10 million. That means that all of the stocks, like if you add up all the stocks that you have out, like when a company goes public, they have their IPO, right? You've heard of IPO? That's initial. Okay. So a company goes from being unlisted to listed, and they make what's called an IPO. That's their initial public offering. And then they offer equity in that company. So they offer shares for sale.
Oh, okay. Initial public offering.
Yeah. Did you see The Social Network, that movie?
No.
Okay, I would recommend that one. It's pretty good. You would like it. And it's good for you to learn like casual English too, because there's a lot of like, it's about college students, so they have a lot of like smart college students, so they
Mhm.
have a lot of like quick conversations that would be good for you to watch.
What's the movie title again?
The Social Network. It's about Facebook.
The Social Network.
Yeah, it's about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Or based on true story or
It is a true story. Yeah, it's based on a true story. It's based on like research done into his life. But they changed some things around, like about his personal life and to make it more like dramatic.
oh, I see.
So, and he hates the movie, by the way. He says because it doesn't make him, it makes him look like a kind of like an asshole. But
Oh,
yeah,
so they made the movie without his permission.
yeah, but he doesn't,
He
they
doesn't.
don't need his permission. He's what, excuse me, he's what's called a public figure. So if you're a politician or a really rich person, you're
Mhm.
a public figure and you actually have you don't have complete control over what people do with your name. Now, if someone says, oh, this guy is, they can go too far. Like they could say like, Mark Zuckerberg has HIV, he's killing people, he's a murderer, then they could probably take them to court. But at least in the United States, there's for example, if they made a movie about me, then I could sue them. But
Oh,
if they make a movie about the president, he can't really do much about it because he's a
oh,
public figure and he's open to criticism. And
oh, just because someone is a public figure, he is
right,
open to
right. The
criticism.
movie's not like terrible. Like it doesn't make him look, it just makes him look kind of like what you would expect someone who became a billionaire at 23 to be like, sort of ruthless, if that
How
word,
how old is Mark?
a little older than us. He was a billionaire. He was a billionaire at the age of 23
Oh,
in US dollars.
wow.
So
Impressive.
anyway, the IPO, Facebook's IPO was like their big coming out moment. So that was their initial public offering. That's when people could buy stocks in Facebook. And a lot of people became super rich because at the IPO, people weren't sure where the stock was going to go. So the
Mhm.
price was pretty low compared to where it is now. So
Yeah.
you could get Facebook shares at the IPO for pretty cheap. And people like, for example, the artist who was hired to paint their headquarters, he is now a multimillionaire because of that. The
Oh,
artist who painted their headquarters, because he was given an option. Do you want to be paid in money or do you want to be paid in Facebook stock? And he said, I want to be paid in Facebook stock.
wow.
And then his stock, whatever money he was would have been paid for the artwork, became worth many, many, many times. This guy, he's actually Asian American.
Wow. So he painted the headquarters of the
Yeah,
Facebook companies.
yeah. Here's what he painted.
Oh,
Where can I find the Facebook stuff? He's a
nice.
graffiti artist. Here. Yeah, that's it. That's
Oh,
what was painted on the inside of the Facebook. So it says here, Facebook IPO could mean 200 million for Mark Zuckerberg's graffiti artist.
so
Anyway,
Like if let's say a stock is our stocks are unlisted and then now the company they regain their they put them back into the list, still the previous stocks will will go
here
with it, right?
it says here, can a delisted stock be relisted? Now this isn't for the Malaysian exchange though. By the
Uh,
way,
but
so
there's
basically
nothing to do with
the
Nasdaq.
NASDAQ, they have to fall below a certain value. So I don't know what's caused AirAsia to fall. Do you know what exactly has happened? Or have they broken some rule, or is it because of their financial problems?
I think financial problems, and then there is a suspected passing of the shares to other shareholders, which is pretty much prohibited or forbidden. I don't know, but they actually previously they released a scheme which is like the loan rights for all the shareholders to buy the warrants, and I actually poured in some. I actually put maximum. I just bought all of them at maximum, and at the end, I didn't know much about it, so I didn't know that it will expire within 1 week. So yeah, I've traded it, and then after that it just go wasted. Like it's they just give us a time frame and they don't release any news on the Google or whatsoever. So people are not sure about it just because it costs half a cent. So it's super duper cheap. So a lot of people just fall into the trap.
Wait, the
And
actual stock or this other option?
because they have warrants and also the main stock, so they say that these warrants can be converted into main stocks. So yeah. So
Well,
yeah, it plunged again. So it's
well,
scary. So I actually bought at the peak over there, like 1.1 something, and the yeah, previously it's
very high, was it?
yeah, it was very high, like before the COVID, during the pre-COVID era. It's
Is that
4 point
high
something.
though? Is that high for
No.
Malaysian stocks?
It's average, but then
Okay.
I actually bought at in December, last year December. So it's like yeah. So but before that, before it plunged, I actually bought at 1 point something, 1.12, something like that. Yeah, at this point, and then it goes all the way down until it's 58 cents. So the risk might be it will be like will go down. I mean,
Well,
it might be unlisted.
you can always find this guy and ask him what's going on.
Yeah, and then this guy, he doesn't want to refund the tickets, the flight tickets, and
Yeah, none of the airlines want to do that. It took me over a year to get my refund from Air Canada.
um,
But with Air Canada, the government bailed them out.
mm, and he
That
still has the gut to show off his Tesla. So he got a lot of criticism for that.
I'm sure he's probably doing okay. I mean, I'm sure he took a lot of losses, but he's probably pretty rich to begin with.
Yeah,
Um,
anyway.
unless you're in, it seems to me that the ultra rich in Southeast Asia usually get away with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I think the exception to that is in East Asia, including China and
Mhm.
Japan, where people get held responsible. Or in China's case, they just sort of disappear sometimes, like Jack Ma, how he went away for a while and it was very strange. And then he came back and I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about what happens to businesses in China. So it says here, at least this is on the NASDAQ, but I would assume that a lot of this is true universally, but It says a delisted stock can theoretically be relisted on a major exchange, but it's rare. The delisted company would have to avoid bankruptcy, solve the issue that forced the delisting, and again become compliant. So like following the rules with the exchange's standards. What's more common is that than a relisting is that a delisted company goes bankrupt and the delisted stock becomes worthless.
So we have company that suspend, I mean, the company stocks can be suspended, means like no trading is allowed during the suspension. And then if let's say the company go delisted, then probably our stocks will be gone forever, right?
Right, yeah, it's very rare. It
But
says it's
suspension has nothing so serious about it, right? If let's say, but you can still see the figure.
yeah, I would say that the worry would be that what will happen after the suspension would be my worry, my concern. Like, will people rush to sell?
Because panic selling is happening and then the stock is plunging.
Right. But it's not suspended now, or it is?
It's not suspended now, but everyone is worried because of the announcement that is issued by the Bursa Malaysia, which is the how do we call that? It's like the main
It's the,
controller.
yeah, the Bursa Malaysia, that's the bank. It's like the
Is that
central
the
bank, I believe.
Central bank.
Oh, no, it's the stock exchange, sorry.
Stock
Here's the
exchange.
Central Bank of Malaysia is just called the Central Bank of
Bank
Malaysia.
Negara. That one is Bank Negara.
Bank Negara is your central bank.
That
So
one.
the central bank's job is to issue currency, and they can issue bonds. You know what a bond is?
We pour in
bond-
our money
A
and then
bond is like a way for the government to borrow money from the public. So you buy bonds and then you have to wait a certain number of years for that bond to mature, mature, and then you sell the bond after it matures with interest. So you get to sell the government will buy that bond back from you, like with interest. So it's a way for the government to like take out a loan. They issue bonds and you're buying a promise from the government that they're going to pay you back with interest in a certain number of years.
I see.
They're very low risk. That's
Stock.
why people like them.
Is the Stock Exchange of Malaysia?
Yeah, this is the Stock Exchange of Malaysia. Previously known as
KLSE.
KLSE.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the stock exchange.
The broker, the main broker.
It's just like
Regulator.
broker is it's the regulator and it's the actual organization itself. There should be a separate organization that regulates it, actually. Like, I only know about the US version. The US, you have the NASDAQ, right? Here are the US stock exchanges. And then you have a separate regulator called the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission.
SE?
NYSE.
NYSE, New York.
Yeah, New
That's
York Stock
Amber.
Exchange.
Oh, New York Stock Exchange.
So
But it's different from the NASDAQ, right?
yeah, I believe so. Here you have, oh my God, you have a lot. But the two big ones are NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange.
Oh,
We actually have a lot.
I see.
But none of these really are, I've never even heard of the ones besides the NYSE and the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I only saw both of these in a lot of like trading app.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about these smaller ones, like the Chicago Stock Exchange.
Mm,
Oh, okay, it's now a subsidiary of New York Stock Exchange. It says NYSE Chicago, formerly known as the Chicago Stock Exchange.
oh, so
It's been,
it's under NYSE too.
yeah. So I think this one should be one of the largest in the world. Yeah.
Mm,
Is by far the world's largest stock exchange by market capitalization. So do you know what market cap is?
market capitalization? No.
Yeah, market cap, we just say market cap is if you take all of the capital in that stock exchange and add it up. Capital is just money. So the value of the equity, like of the stocks, the value of the companies themselves, all of that put together is the market cap.
Mm,
So if you organize markets by, yeah,
oh, there is a formula to calculate it.
yeah, market cap equals number of shares and price per market per share. So it's pretty easy, actually. You would just take the number of shares multiplied by the market price,
Oh, okay. I see.
the price per share.
And so, SE,
I think the one, it would go NASDAQ,
NASDAQ. We see that.
NYSE, then NASDAQ, and then some of the Japanese ones, maybe, and the European ones.
And
Okay,
how
yeah.
about China?
Yeah, it goes New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ Stock Exchange, Tokyo, Shanghai, and then Euro. So pretty much what I said there.
Malaysia is not even in the list.
No, it's
How
not.
about Thailand? No, right?
No, the Thai market is a total. It's like gambling.
Oh, it's more.
The entire market. Here, this is the Thai.
Do you invest in Thai stock? No.
Oh, the SET. No. I would be silly to do that because there's rules. There's special rules for foreigners. Here, look at the market cap.
Thailand SET, Stock Exchange Trading.
Stock Exchange of Thailand.
Oh, Stock Exchange of Thailand. I see.
This is automotive. I just want to my point is that if you look at the statistics,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we have to download something. Anyway, I can just explain it to you. So basically, like when you look at a stock exchange, you want to see that it's pretty steady. Like it's not going really high up and then really high down, right? Because you want your investment to sort of just steadily go up.
Steadily go up.
Right. You
But
want it to be stable. Stability is important, right? But the SCT, this Thai Stock Exchange, it's not stable. Like people who trade on it have shown me the market cap, like the price of all the shares that we talked about multiplied by the number of shares, and it changes like a lot. It fluctuates dramatically. Here's the index. There it is, 1997 through 2020. You see how it goes up and down a lot?
oh yeah,
It really,
it's not stable.
no. What's the Malaysian one?
SEM? I don't know. Uh, it's not stable too.
Yeah, let's see, what is it called? KLSE?
Yeah, KLSE.
The problem is, I think it changed names according to that article. Yeah, no, it's not very stable either.
This is based on.
Actually, at least it shows steady growth. You saw the Taiwan was like up, down, up, down. This is
Mm,
still pretty up, down, but at least it's been steadily increasing. Versus when we saw the SET. So the index gives you an idea of the performance of the whole market.
I see.
Yeah, see, look at you can see that the Taiwan crashes. I'm guessing that was the Asian financial crisis.
Yeah,
Which is when
in
they call it
1998, I guess.
boom. Yeah, right. But the Malaysian one crashed too, but since then it's been pretty steady. Here's the one we talked about. Remember we talked about in the US there was a crash in 2007?
2007.
That's
Yeah.
what this is.
Oh, yeah, correct. It affected the whole world.
Yeah. Here it is again in the Thai stock exchange.
I see.
But the Thai was like, they were doing really well and then they totally crashed
Yeah.
based on the index. Whereas Malaysia was just kind of pretty doing okay. Then they
In
really crashed.
1998, it
Yeah.
crashed and then go up again.
Yeah, and then obviously everyone's not been doing great, but the Thai drop off is a lot worse, if that makes you feel better.
Yes.
But I
Have
mean,
you
I think
ever like lose money from the stocks like a lot?
no, because I've never bought just one stock.
You diversify your stocks.
Well, yeah, because I told you my strategy is not to make money day to day. It's to
Just keep
save
it,
for retirement.
or you just
So,
save it for time. Not for cash, quick cash.
yeah, right. I mean, I've never been good at playing poker or gambling. So
Yeah, I
like,
should learn from you.
well,
I
I
always
mean,
wanted quick cash, but I end up burning money.
hopefully you don't have too much invested in AirAsia.
Uh,
It doesn't seem like a great situation. But again, this is like something that you should talk to an accountant or
You explained it pretty well.
okay, good, thank you. But I mean, like, for actual like financial advice, other than like anyone can tell you like buy index fund. Well, the problem is people won't tell you that. They'll tell you a bunch of stuff, especially like crypto people. Remember when people are trying to get you to buy crypto,
Mm-hmm.
it's because they have an interest in it too. They want other people to buy crypto because it drives the price up and it helps them,
Oh, can they
right?
like sell it out or sell it off?
Yeah, you can buy and sell it just like you can buy and sell any
Stop.
commodity.
Oh, I see.
It's like Bitcoin is supposed to be a currency, but really the way that it's traded is more like a commodity. It's more like gold or silver. That's the
Mhm.
way it's traded.
I see. It's
And
something that is made up. It's virtual.
no, a commodity just means like it's a good that's sold. Like
Mm,
something that's valuable because of its rarity, which is Bitcoin. It's, it has there's only a certain amount of it that's out there.
So is there any like market or sellers they accept Bitcoins as
Yeah,
currency?
yeah. There used to be a lot, but this is going outside my area of expertise. But right now, the transaction speed for Bitcoin is really slow. So if you want to buy something using actual Bitcoin, it would take like maybe like 30 minutes for it to actually go through. So it's not very valuable as a current. There's much better cryptocurrencies if you want to just buy and sell stuff.
Mm,
But years ago, yeah, it was actually
okay.
pretty easy to buy and sell things with Bitcoin.
I see.
There's something called Bitcash, which is a derivative of Bitcoin that's used for buying and selling stuff.
I see.
So yeah, the idea behind it, well, probably we don't really know the idea behind it because the founder is anonymous. The creator of Bitcoin, they went by a pseudonym, like a false name. The founding principle was like a currency that's decentralized, that's not it's not controlled by a central bank, and it's something that could be completely anonymous too and safe. Like your transactions are guaranteed just by the nature of it because they're unique mathematical formulas, but also it's anonymous. Like you can send money to someone without them really knowing who sent it. So it's sort of a way to break away from government control of currency. But what it's become now is just another gold or another silver, another commodity, basically. But yeah, I'm not saying don't buy crypto. I'm saying that people that tell you, yes, buy my new coin, like Dogecoin or one of these other smaller cryptocurrencies, they have a vested interest in trying to talk people up and make everyone say, oh, yes, we will buy into this, because as a lot of people buy in, they drive up the price and increase their portfolio.
Yeah, I have a few who try to convince me to buy it, but I never, because it's too unstable, and we don't have like a system whereby we can trade with the Bitcoin. If let's say they start to have this they initiate this kind of transaction with Bitcoin, then maybe I would consider. If let's say, yeah, somehow in Malaysia we cannot trade with Bitcoin now.
Yeah. I think that you mean like buy and sell things with it. Yeah. I got you. I mean, Bitcoin it's the largest of the cryptocurrencies in terms of like the market cap or whatever, and how well known it is. But like you said, there's no real way to know whether it's going to go up or down.
Just now you said Dogecoin, Bitcash is the derivative of Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcash is a derivative of Bitcoin. I believe, I don't know much about it, but I think it was split off from Bitcoin to make it easier to buy and sell products using Bitcoin.
I see. Okay, I learned a lot.
You can look into that. I think there's other sources. I haven't really, despite owning crypto, I don't know that much about it, other than I know how it behaves, like how the price behaves. But as far as the mechanics of it, like the math and the computer science, that's my field, like blockchain stuff. Anyway, I know the basics, but that's about it. We went over all of these things.
Yeah.
One of the things that my students asked me last night was the difference between like Social Security and a pension. And more specifically, they were just confused by what Social Security was. And I wanted to make sure that you understood it.
So you're asking me to give a detailed explanation of what is Social Security?
Details, as long as you feel like you understand what it is.
Social Security, I would say it's somehow like a bursaries from the government to help the underprivileged community.
right, yeah. It
Just
just has different names depending on where you are. In
mm,
America, it's called welfare and unemployment.
okay,
Welfare,
welfare,
what's that?
Malaysia. We call it as welfare, or uh usually we will use a Malay word like BB1M or BRIM.
Okay,
BR1M. Yeah.
got you. Yeah, so it just, yeah, you understand the concept.
Financial bursary. Can I say bursary? But I thought bursary is given given to the students.
I thought a bursary was just a noun for the place that, yeah, it is. It's scholarship. It's British English. That's why I've never heard of it.
Oh, I see. A scholarship to attend a college or university.
Yeah, it's British English. That's why I wasn't aware of it.
Oh, bursary and scholarship.
Yeah, they sound like they're
Okay.
synonymous.
Yeah, because I see both words in the brochure. So like they are trying to get the students to apply to enroll. I say enroll the university or enroll in to or
Enroll
in.
in. Enroll in. You enroll in something and you apply to. You can apply to a university. You can apply for a scholarship. I would assume you
Apply.
could probably apply for a bursary as well. You can apply for a scholarship, right? But you can
Apply.
also, can you apply for a bursary? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, because I am still quite weak at prepositions like in, on, and at, and like interested in. I'm just giving one example. Like sometimes, like for example, like marry, we say marry a person, right? We don't say marry to or marry with.
We
What
say
is the grammatical term for that if I wish to like improve in this area?
you can say married to, yeah. I'm
Married.
married to. I don't know. I think that Twinkle has good stuff on prepositions. They have some good things, but honestly, the only way to get better at it is just to read a lot and practice.
There is no specific grammatical term for that.
Like rules, you mean, to help you decide like which preposition to use? Not
Yeah.
really. It's situation dependent. There's some things that sort of follow a pattern, like, but the more if I think about it, I would have to like actually prepare a lesson on this for you, but when I teach my younger students, there's just not much of a pattern to it. They have to learn it on a word by word basis. The exception would be like physical things, like into, on, in, over. There you can figure things out just using your logic. So for example, he jumped over the table. If you show a student a picture of a person and then you draw a line going over a table, they're going
They can
to understand
understand
that
that.
over, right? But
Yeah.
when you say like, for example, apply for a scholarship,
Is
enroll,
for considered as a preposition for? All right.
yeah, it is.
Huh?
For is a position. So
Where is a preposition?
I guess you can try to visualize things. For example, enroll in university or enroll in a college. You can think about, okay, you're trying to go inside that institution.
Can I
So
say
you're,
enroll into? No, right? Or enroll to, because I am going to the university.
I don't think so. I think you should stick with in.
Then just stay with them.
Into isn't bad though. It still sounds normal.
It sounds normal, but if you say enroll to a university, it sounds wrong.
Yeah, it sounds, as a native speaker, it sounds like the alarm bell in my brain is like, no, no. But
You say apply to.
yes, enroll in means that you've already been accepted,
Oh, okay.
right? So apply
Just one step closer.
apply to is like you're still trying to get in. So you're going to that place.
Mm,
If you talk it through, I think that you can usually figure out what the proper preposition is just by like using a bit of logic and thinking about this. If you understand the meaning of the situation, like the context is what I'm trying to say.
okay, so there is no specific lesson for this, right? Have to like keep practice.
Yeah, the lesson would just be practice. It would just be like, okay, here are the most common ones. Here are the most common ways that we use for, into, in, to, and then just applying them and practicing a lot. And I think that reading helps a lot.
Mm-mm.
If you read a lot of books, then, or it doesn't have to, they don't have to be books, but just reading a lot, you'll start to get a sort of sense for how things are supposed to work.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
But yeah, prepositions are really tough, and they're something that it comes naturally to native speakers, and it's for non-native English speakers, it's really difficult because, like we talked about, there isn't really a set of rules that you can follow, except for actual physical actions.
Yeah, because it's different from our mother tongue. Like our mother tongue, they
Right.
the
A lot of
sounds-
languages don't have prepositions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they like before, after, that sort of thing. That's common. Although before and after can also be adverbs. That's another thing. Some words can be adverbs and prepositions.
Yeah.
You have to think about how it functions in the sentence.
True.
I've been thinking recently that besides preparing students for tests, there's not a lot of value in knowing whether something is an adverb, a preposition, blah, 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 as long as they understand how it's used in the sentence. But because tests often ask students to identify parts of speech, you still have to teach it, but to write or speak correctly, you don't really need to know parts of speech. I learned parts of speech when I was
Parts of speech.
young, and then I forgot all about them for many years until I started teaching again. And then I went over them again to make sure I knew them.
Parts of speech.
Right. Noun, pronoun, adjective, that sort of thing.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I send you my exam paper later, because that is something that I prepared for their final exam.
Sure.
Can you help me to like examine my exam paper to check anything wrong?
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So did we do this dialogue?
We are halfway done.
Okay. So we made to what, like
So,
3?
if the company makes 10% more than last year, we'll get a bonus at the end of the year.
Right.
It will take me at least 2.5 years to repay the loan on my to repay the mortgage
Mhm.
on my house. Many Europeans sorry?
You pronounced it correctly. Your
Which one?
pronunciation is correct on mortgage.
Mortgage or mortgage.
Yeah, there's no T.
or mortgage. All right, next. Many European countries now have the same currency, the
Yeah.
euro. My wages aren't very good, so I do a lot of overtime.
Nice.
Nearly 40% of everything I earn goes to the government as retirement fund, yeah. So,
Simpler.
what is it?
It's
Tax.
simpler. Yeah.
Oh, as tax. Oh, is it even possible that you pay 40% of your money
Yeah.
to the government?
Oh,
It's a
man.
lot.
It is a lot. Here are the tax brackets. That's not even, here, look. If you make over 4 million baht per year, you pay 35%.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's not even that bad compared to the whole world.
In Malaysia, I think 28%, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot.
Tax in Malaysia. I'm actually
A lot lower than Thailand, actually. 5%.
more than Thailand, right?
No, your taxes are lower.
I'm at still go out.
For the very rich, your taxes are lower at least
Yeah, still up.
30%.
Oh, my tax rate is about like 14%.
Really?
Yeah, 14%. Like this one is for
The
the
US
US.
is higher than Malaysia, actually.
Wow. That's
But I think it's probably, I don't know, you have to look at what it is for the majority of people. So like, you have to look at like, most people in America are gonna follow, they're gonna fall into this bracket, 12%,
yeah, roughly the same as me.
right? So not bad. 12% isn't too bad. It's pretty crazy that you could give away 37% of your income. But then again, if you're making that much money, the idea is that it's not really that important for you.
Yeah.
You see why it's such a big advantage to get married in the US? Look at how it affects your taxes. For example, here's a single filer. They need 523,000. Hold on. Let's go down to here. So filing together, you can have up to 172,000 together and still be in this 22% tax bracket. Versus if you're single and you make that much, then you have to go into the 32% tax bracket. So it'd be better to split your income between the man and the woman and then file jointly, like file together. Big reason why people get married, besides just tradition. So by the way, what type of tax is that? Near 40% of everything I earn goes to the government as tax. What type of tax is that?
Individual tax.
Yeah, so that's a type of income tax.
Income tax. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you have, what is the other type of tax? The main one. There's two main types of taxes that you pay.
I don't know.
The other one, do you have a VAT?
Don't know.
Okay, so the other one would be sales tax.
Oh.
Sales tax is when you buy a product, you pay a percentage as tax every time you purchase a product. So in Thailand, it's called the VAT, value added tax. In Europe, it's also called, in the Eurozone, EU, it's also called the VAT, value added tax. In America, they just call it sales tax, which is what it is. What's that?
Number 9, SST, sales and service tax.
Right.
Oh yeah, by the way, can we like leave it for the next class? Because I'm sweating. My stomach is very pain right now. I'm having stomach ache.
Oh, no. Okay,
Yeah.
you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Leave it for just 5 minutes. Early.
okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
See you.
See you.